So today's project is an experiment. I'm going to see if vermicomposting and bunnies really do make good companions. There are a couple of flies in here. I have two kinds of fly traps. We still got some flies. Very annoying little critters. Anyway, so I've positioned my bin on top of a bunny cage. This is Alice and Agatha Raisin's cage. And I positioned it kind of in the middle of the trays because they tend to kind of put the urine out the corners, and I want to be sure that there's not too much salty buildup inside the bottom of the bin. So I'll be changing the outside edges frequently and hopefully leaving the inside material to kind of just decompose and do its stuff. They are a bit wasty with their hay and their feed, so all of that will definitely be good for the worms. And they do seem to put most of their droppings in the center, so again, those will be okay for the worms. So I've started off with a layer of shredded paper, very well shredded, and now I'm going to tear newspaper to put as my next layer of bedding. Now that I've added quite a lot of torn up newspaper, I'm going to moisten this layer a little bit. So I actually went out and looked at my next layer, which is coconut coir that has been rehydrated, and it's moister than I wanted, and I'm going to use it on top of the newspaper without adding any more moisture to the bedding. So now you can see another layer added, and that is the rehydrated coconut coir block. I'm going to start my friends off with a little extra, some delicious watermelon rind. They love melon rinds. And I'm also going to cover them, I covered half of it already, with a piece of cardboard. They like to stay dark, so the cardboard helps keep them in the dark, and it also helps prevent escape because they're not interested in coming up here and sitting in the light. So I thought for a minute my worms were all gone, but they actually were just hiding out in the bottom corner of the bin. They're just teeming with life, tickling my hand. So they had just, I guess, gone for the coolest spot they could find. And now my hands are all dirty digging around here for them. But I'm not going to use them all. I'm just taking part of them to start the new bin and leaving the rest in the old bin. So, as they get more food, worms multiply, and if they feel like there isn't enough food, they actually kind of die back. So you can tell if you need to add more food if you're not seeing a lot of worms, but they're all here. So I have been feeding them the right amount, and it's the right moisture level. It's not too soggy. So we'll start the new bin and we'll close these guys up. So I had just been giving them like a little bit of spoiled food and stuff over on this side and leaving them over on the other side here with some newspaper over top. And they seem to be doing pretty well like that. I gave them a couple of banana peels, which they love, and I gave them a couple of melons, which they love. So this bin is doing fine, and we'll expand to the new bin as well, where they will probably immediately be heading to darker parts because they do not like the light. They're kind of like, no, what happened? We were so happy. Yeah, you can see some of them are already heading under the cardboard where it's dark. So now everything is all covered up. We'll just wait and let them settle in a while. I'll check and make sure that the cardboard doesn't draw out too much moisture. I may have to dampen it with a spray bottle every day for a little bit until it kind of breaks down a little more. But hopefully being covered like this, they will not be interested in escaping and seeking, I guess in this case will be browner pastures. The only thing I have left to do is I will go get a scoop of sandy soil to put in there, and that way if they need to, they will have something to help digest the food. So it is important to provide either some soil or some very fine sand, just a little bit, to help them break down their food so that they can continue to thrive. If you're worried about having worms in your house, you don't need to do vermicomposting to benefit from worm castings. You can actually just bury a banana peel or apple core and peelings or whatever other kitchen scraps you have right in your garden. The worms will find it and they will start breaking it up. They won't be the specific worms that I use for vermicomposting, but they'll do a great job and they'll leave you plenty of worm castings. So this is just kind of an extra fun thing to do, but it's not necessary.